On this week's episode of the Mike Pressler Show, the Bulldogs continue their role as they pick up wins against Brown and Mount St. Mary's. We sit down with senior attackman Travis Harrington, and of course we preview the week ahead, including this weekend's game at Quinnipiac. It's all here next on the Mike Pressler Show on Cox Sports Television. And welcome to this week's episode of the Mike Pressler Show. I'm Mike Mancuso, joined as always by the head coach of the Bryant men's lacrosse team, Mike Pressler. And Coach, we're here at Blackie's Bulldog Tavern once again, and the good news just keeps on pouring in. You're in the midst of an 8-game winning streak, wins over Brown and a conference win over Mount St. Mary's. Your team swept all of the NEC special awards this week, with Peter McMahon taking Offensive Player of the Week, Jamison Love the Defensive Player of the Week, and Kevin Massa for the 6th time this season, 4th week in a row, Rookie of the Week. And of course, you're still in the national rankings as well. What a week it's been for Bryant lacrosse.
You know, I'm really excited about the Brown game in particular. Early in the week, that was going to be a battle, interstate rivalry, the Ocean State Cup, and to go on the road and beat Brown. The second Tuesday night game in a row on the road was a great accomplishment for our guys, and then to top it off with an outstanding effort versus Mount St. Mary's, the reigning conference champion, and put up 17 goals in Bulldog Stadium. So certainly thrilled for the week.
Absolutely. So the win against Brown, you won 10-9 and improved your overall record to 8-2, and you remained at 1-0 in the NEC. And for the second straight year, though, you picked up the Ocean State Cup. What does winning that cup mean for your program now 2 years in a row?
A lot of local notoriety, between the PC Brown and ourselves, the 3 Division I lacrosse schools in the state, and us being the newcomer.
Right.
So to win it 2 years in a row, and only in our 4th year of Division I, our president, our AD, and our alums certainly the local alums are very excited about that.
Yep. So the win against Brown was your 7th straight. You got off to a great start. You were up 5-2 after the first quarter, but then pretty much the rest of the way it was nip and tuck, and you eventually came out with a 10-9 win, and seemed to be a great effort all across the board.
We're really pleased and overall that we never let them catch us.
Yep.
They did cut it to 1 obviously at the end, but that was the first time they really cut it to 1. And Brown's a well-coached team. Lars, Tiffany does a great job, and we're up 3 in the third quarter, and they just wouldn't go away, and the credit went to Brown.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the highlights now from the 10-9 victory at Brown.
We're extra man here. Great play by our freshman Brian Schlankster, who can really shoot it, especially left-handed.
And that tied the game at 1-1. And that was Bo Redpath on an unassisted goal, his 3rd of the season.
Love that second line, producing numbers for us. Kevin Massa doing his thing at the face-off and takes it all the way in, and a key goal again during that run.
Massa finishing with a goal and an assist in the game.
Here comes Mason Poley up the field, 4-on-4, and he runs by his guy with that long pole. What a dangerous weapon he is, going from D to O.
His goal number 9 on the season for Poley.
And Rob Mayrano, our second LSM, doing the same thing. Great goal by Rob. Our guest here at halftime, Travis Harrington, driving left-handed. Kevin Massa again. Max Wiesenberg. I think Max goes to his offhand and hits one on the run here. That's a big-time play by Max.
Yeah, made it 7-4 at the time in the second quarter.
Kyle Crowley pushing with his right, getting number 8, Brian Schlankster's hands free.
Second of the game for Schlankster.
Again, Massa just dominating the X.
At one point, he won 16 straight faceoffs in that game.
Remarkable effort, remarkable young man. Great ground ball by Dan Sipperly, a loose one in front. We call that a loosie in our sport. And way to manufacture there some offense for Dan.
And that made it a 3-goal game at the time at 9-6.
Great, Ben Sternberg getting the best of that hit. Great save by Jay here, gets their best player. Jamison again on an individual pickoff behind the goal. That was the game winner, I believe.
Yep.
To Dan Sipperly from Max Wiesenberg.
Sipperly's 2nd of the day, 6th of the season. And again, the final score, 10-9. The Bulldogs come out on top. You had 8 different goal scorers in that contest. And, Peter McMahon finished without a point for the first time in 40 games. Colin Dunster without a goal, I think for only the 2nd time all season. It was really nice to see a bunch of different guys step up.
Well, again, they both played very well and just didn't didn't register a point on the scoreboard. But I commended Peter, I commended Colin. The ball just didn't fall in the net for him, and then you turn that around to what they did 4 days later with Mount St. Mary's. So that thing comes and goes sometime. They were not discouraged, and they certainly picked it up on the weekend versus our NEC rival.
100%. Now, Jamison finished the day 14 saves on 23 shots. Looking at some other numbers, ground balls, again in favor. You guys remain the #1 ground ball team in the nation. You out-ground balled them 37-27, and face-offs 17 of 22 for Kevin Massa in that game. Well, you look at all that as a whole, what unit or aspect of the game were you most pleased with in that night?
I told the team afterwards that was our best effort offensively in the settled 6-on-6 game. I loved our off-ball spacing. I loved how we shared it. I loved the fact that we didn't turn it over. We took care of the ball, and I think that was, without question, our best game prior to the Mount St. Mary's game in the half-field offense.
Well, speaking of the Mount St. Mary's game, another victory for you guys. It ran your win streak to 8 games, 17-9 in a conference game against the defending regular season and tournament champions. Just pretty much every statistic in your favor in that game. It improved the record to 9-2, 2-0 in NEC play. And, it was an NEC rivalry game against a team that you have a lot of respect for. So how sweet was this victory?
We're certainly pleased about the win. To say we were going to win 17-9, if you told me that on Friday afternoon, I would have said no way. I expected another 1-2 goal game. Hopefully we could pull it out down the stretch. But I think the credit goes to Brad Ross, and we're really getting better at the offensive end. The second midfield had 6 points. You mentioned Colin Dunster, Peter McMahon. So we're more multiple than we've been offensively. We're doing a lot of different things. We're changing the point of attack, and a lot of different people are spreading the wealth. And the credit goes to Coach Ross and his tutelage, especially with those guys really coming together right now.
Right. Now, it was a tight first quarter. You were up 3-2. Then you came out firing in the second to take a 9-5 lead at the half. You're up 11-6 after the third, and then completely blew it open. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the game against Mount St. Mary's.
The first goal of the game, kind of in the sub game, Colin Dunster splits to his offhand and hits one on the run. That was huge for us. 25 seconds or so into the game.
23rd goal of the season for Dunster. Peter McMahon picking up one of his 6 assists on the day.
Bo Redpath looking through the defense to Peter McMahon on the back door. Great 1-2 play there from our second line.
Yeah, one of the prettier goals I think we've seen this season. And it was almost a little one-timer there from McMahon.
Kevin on the face-off. Great ground ball by Alex Sommerfeld. Gets the fast break going here. Peter McMahon to Travis Harrington. Great inside roll by Travis. That's going in.
Yeah, his 8th tally of the season. It goes down as unassisted, but still a nice little feed there from McMahon.
Peter on the run here, draws 2. Colin Dunster room and time, that's going in the goal. We've seen that a lot this year.
Give him the time and the space. He's going to make him pay. Dunster's 24th of the year on that one.
Great look from high-low from Max Wiesenberg to Dan Sipperly. Great handle by Dan in front of the goal, actually.
And that made it 8-3 in the second quarter. Sipperly's 7th tally of the year.
Again, Max on the run here. Great skip pass to Colin Dunster.
Dunster again finished the day with 4 goals on the afternoon.
He's a tremendous mid-range shooter. 10 to 13 yards. Again, a little face-off violation. Look through to big old 55 there.
And that really seemed to be a sweet part of the field for you guys. There's a lot of goals coming from right near that NEC logo.
Played a little zone here. Great save by Jay. Now, if he gets a good look at the ball, he's going to make the save.
So you guys finished winning that one 17-9, again improving to 9-2, 2-0 in NEC play. Peter McMahon, 2 goals, 6 assists. Colin Dunster, 4 goals and assists, and Jamison Love making 8 saves on 17 shots. And looking at some of the other numbers, Coach, ground balls 41-18. You only had 8 turnovers for the game, 19 of 30 on faceoffs. Man up was 1 for 2, penalty kill 2 of 3. So just across the board, a great game. The X factor coming into it was goalie play and faceoffs. I think you guys had the advantage in that one as well. Our guest today is going to be Travis Harrington, one of your senior attackmen. Do you have any quick words about him?
Very, very fond of Travis. Travis and I have hit it off day one. I recruited Travis to Bryant, one of our original first recruits in the Division I model, his entire class, and a guy who's played a lot of minutes, a lot of quality minutes here, and just a great physical one-on-one dodger, an attackman that's been key for us over his career and is doing a great job here in his senior year.
Yep, so we'll have the interview with Travis Harrington coming up next here on the Mike Pressler Show on Cox Sports Television.